Okay, that was a lovely view of my chin. Hi everyone, it's Heather here playing with paper crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. And I want to welcome you to my Facebook Live class. This is my June technique class. And I'll just wait till we gather a few more people. Okay, now we've got 4 people here. Just sign in and say hi. So I know who we've got here. And if you're not part of the registered class, that's okay. You're welcome to join and watch. Okay, all right. So we're going to make, as I said, 6 birthday cards, 2 each of 3 designs. This is the first design, so I'm going to get started on that right now. When you're making multiples, it's a good idea to make sure that you complete one card and then you can finish the other card with that sample and the video to watch. So concentrate on completing one of the 2 cards, and then you'll have a sample to work from for the other. Okay, so the base is mint macaron. The paper that you're seeing is from the hand-penned designer series paper, and the die cut here is from the Penned Flowers, I think, bundle. It's all part of that suite anyway. These little tags that you will see on the cards come from the, I'm going to be showing you those as we go along. So the Penned Flower dies created this. Let me just show you some of these things. So this is the Hand Pen Petals stamp set, which we didn't actually use, but it's part of the bundle that these Penned Flower dies come in that created this beautiful little die cut here. And I will be showing you the labels dies a little bit later on. All right, so we'll get started. The first bundle will come wrapped in an envelope. So if you pull out everything that's contained within that those envelopes, you will be fine. So we have a base of mint macaron. Oh, hi Susan, and Kim is here too. I missed Kim, but hi Kim if you're here, that's great. So we're going to fold the card base on the score line and use our bone folder to make a nice sharp crease. Okay, and then we're going to take this striped designer series paper. Mine looks a little weird because I ran out, so I had to glue some pieces down onto some cardstock so I could add it. But yours doesn't look like that. Yours is just plain designer series paper. So I am going to use some multi-purpose glue just to add some glue to the back. You can use whatever adhesive you have. A light glue, just for a couple of reasons. One, it gives you some time to position your paper, make sure that it's centered properly. The other thing is it's really economical. It doesn't run out nearly as fast as your tape runner does, your snail, or your seal rather. And it's a lot less expensive, so it's a good adhesive, but there's times when it is not a good one to use. like if you're using foil or something like that. But other than that, it's what I would recommend. Okay, so there we go. We've got that done. So we're just going to put that aside for a minute. Our next job is to take out the other piece of designer series paper, and you're going to see that it is the reverse side of the stripes. And mint macaron is kind of, mint macaron and garden green are sort of the predominant colors in this design. So I've got a garden green backing for it. So again, we're going to add some adhesive to the back of this. How am I doing? Is everybody doing okay? Let me know if I need to slow down at any time. So just adding some adhesive. To this. And centering it on the backing. It's not square, so you want to make sure that you have it so that you have about 1/8 of an inch border on all sides. And if you have it turned wrong, you won't get that same border. Okay, so now we're going to add it to the left side of your card front. Make sure where the opening is before you add it to that left side. Everybody's okay? Eunice, you're doing all right? Let me just stand up to check here. Okay, we've got some thumbs up, going all right. Okay. So I'm going to add some glue to the back here. And we're putting this on the left side with about 1/4, well, about 1/8 of an inch all around. And if we want to make sure that it's going to stick well, what is that? I've got an anomaly on the inside of my cardstock there. Looks like a bug. I'll have to put something on the inside. Okay, so that's ready to go. So now we're going to work on our tag. Hand-tailored tags, I think, is the name of the dies that cut out these beautiful tags. There's a series of 2 shapes of tags, and there's large and small. I think 4 in the series. Mint Macaron is the ink I'm using, and this Happy Birthday comes from the Art Gallery stamp set, but any small Happy Birthday sentiment will work, or if you want it for something other than a birthday, then feel free to change it up. Yeah, it's very, you're right, it is very forgiving. Okay, so I'm just gonna ink that up with my mint macaron, and I want it on the bottom left of my tag. Just gonna get my head in there to make sure I'm getting it straight. So forgive me for that. And there's our sentiment. And I'm just going to keep tidy as we go along here, cleaning my stamps as we go. Okay, now I'm going to take, actually I think I'll do my ribbon So what I'm going to do is fold my ribbon in half, and I'm going to fold that tip in half the other way so that it's really small. Hi, Carol. And I'm going to just feed it through that little hole and grab it with my nails, pull it through like so, and then tuck the tail through the loop there, and gently, I say gently because anything that's too strong will can actually break that connection there, and then you're up the creek. Not much you could do after that unless you perform some amazing surgery on with tape. Okay, so now once I've got that done though, I want to just tie a little knot in the ribbon just to keep it, I want the tails to go sideways, not straight out. So that's why I'm going to turn and tie a wee knot here. Just one is all that's necessary. And that'll help the ribbon to go sideways. Okay, and then once I get it on my card, I'll have to trim the tails off. Okay, now we need some dimensionals. So I'm just reaching for my packs of dimensionals here. And I'm going to use full size ones. So 5 should be enough. The corners and one in the middle. And then just lift off the backings. If you don't have nails and you have difficulties, remember that you can just press in the middle and that'll lift the edges up. Make it easier to pull them off. Okay, so once that's off, then with the sentiment at the bottom, we're going to give it about half an inch, half to 3/4 of an inch from the bottom there, and mount that. Now we can trim. I have my scissors here, my ribbon scissors. We can trim those little ties off. So start at the bottom one so that it doesn't go over the edge of the card, and then we can trim the top one approximately the same length. Okay, now our last job then is to add the die cut. Should I wait for a bit? How's everybody doing? Give me some thumbs up if you're good. I'm going to be using I'm thinking maybe I need to reduce this, give you a little bit more to see there. Thinking it was a little bit large, I feel, so that you couldn't see everything I was doing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my glue, liquid glue, shake the glue down into the tip, and then I'm just going to add dots of glue to the areas where it's thick. You know, there's thickness of cardstock there, as much as possible. And the areas that might hang over the edge, I'm just going to remember not to get right to the edge. Try to stick more in the middle. That should be enough to keep it on there. Okay, I got one thumbs up. I like using my tweezers for this because I just never know where the glue is going to get onto my fingers and cause a mess. So I position it, hopefully with one fell swoop there, and then add it to my card. I could have tipped it a little bit more, I think, but that's still looking good. Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes to finish that card, and then we'll go on to card number 2. And as I say, as you finish one card, then you'll have a model to do the second card of the 2 that you have the same design, and you can always watch the replay as well. So I'm going to tidy this one up. I think I'm going to reload my seal. Not sure if I'm going to need it, but I can see the red line on the other one, so I know it's going to run out on me. I might as well just change it. And that'll give you a chance to finish up if you need it. For the next card, I'm going to be using the Sweet as a Peach stamp set for the sentiment. If you have it and you want to use that for the birthday sentiment, then feel free to do that. I'm just going to clean out the glue that gets stuck in there. There. Clean out any glue around the edges there. Put it back together again. If you've never seen that done before, now you have. Okay, so that's ready to go. That's ready to go. And we need to use the same stamp for the last card, so I'm going to leave that out handy. Okay. So this is the second card that we're going to do here, and that's the second pack in your card pack. So this one features another design from the hand-penned designer series paper, and then it uses the So Sweetly Stitched panel here on the front, and this is from the Quiet Meadow bundle, which has some amazing wildflower dies in there. And this one is colored using Stampin' Blends combos. So I think I used Pale Papaya and Mint Macaron, if you want to use those. And then this panel is from the Stitched Rectangle dies. Okay, and this is called the Gatefold card, in case you were wondering. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go along here. So, I'm going to keep, well, I don't know if I need that or not. We'll leave that for now. Okay, everybody ready to go? Okay, so to fold a Gatefold card, what you do is you cut a regular 5.5 by 8.5 half sheet of cardstock, but instead of scoring it at 4 1/4, you divide that 4 1/4 in half, and you do score it at 2 1/8, and then flip it and 2 1/8, so that when you fold these together, this center portion is 4 1/4. Okay. So that's the secret to making these Gatefold cards. So when we fold it, just make sure that the edges line up with the edge of the card base there, and give it a nice burnish with your bone folder, and then do it on the same on the other side. So there they meet nice and perfectly in the middle, and you have the basis for your gatefold card. Okay, so we can start right away by adding this stitched rectangle panel right in the middle on the inside. So again, I'm going to use my Tombow glue for that. You can use whatever adhesive you like. Open those up wide and center this vertically and horizontally, and the glue gives me a moment to do that. So there we go. I'm going to flip it. Just use my bone folder on the back, and that's that. Okay, now we have two bits of designer series paper. This is from the hand penned petals, or the hand penned designer series paper, and these are going to fit on those the gatefolds there. Okay, if you want to use the other side, you can. It's a little bit subdued though for the card, but that's your choice. You could do one way and one the other if you like. Okay, so again, I'm going to use the glue. So the way to make sure that you don't get too much glue coming out, again, is to shake it into the tip first. And then I like to do it this way. A little bit easier than trying to keep it flat when it's opened on the front. Okay. And then this one we'll turn this way, add some glue. How's everybody doing? And we'll add this panel to the outside. And then I'm going to give you a short little minute to catch up. And I'm going to go get my cup of water, because I need a drink. Okay, so that part is done. I'm just going to go back over the outside seams. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to catch up. I'm going to get my drink of water there. Okay, that was good. I needed that. All right. Then you have this sweet little scalloped panel that's die cut using the So Sweetly Stitched dies, which I use these a lot actually. because they've got really neat labels as well as these decorative panels. So we're going to stamp in Pale Papaya, and these sentiments that I'm going to use, the Happy Birthday, Let's Celebrate You, these come from the Sweet as a Peach stamp set. I just really like the, I don't know, the rounded script on here. It's satisfying. Okay, so we want the placement is kind of important on here, although we can play around with where we glue this flower down, but you might want to just bring it over. I'm having trouble picking it up here. Okay, so you might just want to bring it over. This, you'll probably end up trimming off some of the stem, but just to see where you can locate. So you're going to want to locate the Happy Birthday above this stem, and then the Celebrate You just below that. So right about there. You can see where that's going to be. And if I line this whole thing up so that it's right on my grid paper here, right on the line, that will help me remember where to put it. So grid paper, not just protecting your table. So inking up the Pale Papaya and looking for that solid line there. I'm going to stamp my sentiment. There we go. Okay. I can get rid of that off my table and clean off my stamp. Oh, the color is Pale Papaya, Kim. Yeah, so I used Pale Papaya for stamping. And now what I want to do is color my wildflower here. And to do that, I'm using the Stampin' Blends combos in Mint Macaron for the stem and leaves, and Pale Papaya for the flower. So I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm using the marker tip rather than the brush tip, and I want to make a line that shows that this leaf comes on the outside. It curves over top, so I'm using the dark marker to show that, and also that this leaf also goes over the outside. And then this one just comes off the stem, and the same with that one there. I want to have the outside of this sort of seed pod here underneath the flower with dark edges. And then I just want to add a little extra dark on the outside of the stem. I feel like my alcohol is drying up here. Maybe it's the heat. I don't know. not going on very well. Okay, well, I guess that's going to be enough. And now I'm just going to fill it all in with the light. Oh, okay, sure, for sure, Kim. Thanks for, can everybody see that? So where I did the darkness, where this leaf crosses over, I did it underneath and on top of it to show that it's on the outside, and then just on the outside of the stem, and I did dark mint macaron sort of all along the underneath parts of this seed pod to make it look round, and then just where these leaves join the stem. And I tried to do some on the outside of the stem, but my mint macaron dark color was pooping out on me, so. Okay, so now I'm going to fill all that in now and blend it with, blend and extend with the light mint macaron, and hope that that lasts me a little bit longer. So just in the round part, I don't want to go any higher because I want to leave that for the pale papaya. So you don't have to be so discriminating with the light mint macaron. Just blend in that dark and work it until it looks like it's blending. There. Okay. How's that? Okay, now we're going to do the flower. So I'm actually going to start, I think I'll use the brush tip here. I'm going to start by just doing it all light. The brush tip makes it easy to get all the little nooks and corners and crannies. Then I'm going to add the dark right in the middle here. Like that. And then I'm going to just blend that with the light again. But I'm not going to go all the way out to the edge. Just going to blend over that, and I'll extend it a little bit beyond the dark, but I don't want to go all the way out to the edge because I want to have a little more gradient there. Okay. I feel like the stem is really light. So I'm going to use the brush tip, see if I've got a little more ink in there. Oh yeah, that works. It's funny, sometimes one end runs out of ink and the other doesn't, so. Okay. I think that is good. Did everybody get that okay? I would like it even a little bit more dark in the middle. So I'm going to add a little, even a little smaller area that has another layer of the dark pale papaya in it. There, that's good. Now I'm happy. Okay, so now we bring this back and we are going to glue this down. We want it approximately like this, and then once we get it glued down, we're going to have to trim off the edge there. So I'm going to open it up a little bit. Whoops. Bring it in a bit so you can see more. Move up. There. Okay. Okay. So, once again, we're going to use our glue. Shake it down to the end so you don't have to really put too much pressure on the sides. And you probably don't want to put the glue right to the edge because it's going to be going beyond the edge there. I think that it's dried in the tip a little bit there, so I'm going to clean it. There we go. I'm just touching the tip to those leaves. There we get some glue happening here. Just an even pressure on there. Okay. And my trusty tweezers again. These are, if you can find something like these that have, I don't know, negative pressure? I don't know what you call it, but where you squeeze them and they open up, and then you let go and they hang on. They're really handy for crafters. Okay, and now I'm just going to trim this sort of in line with that leaf. So it's just a little point there, and I may trim it a little bit more this side too. There we go. Okay, now this is a little bit of a tricky part. So we want this to go halfway on this side of the gate and halfway on that side of the gate, but we only want to glue it on the left side. We want to be able to have our card open up so that it's only going to be glued on one side. So if you count the little scallops here, this is why the scallops are handy for this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And so the 8th scallop will be the middle. So the middle of the 8th scallop is where we want to have it right on the fold here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to actually turn it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just going to put my tweezers right there. And I'm going to make a little pencil mark there. All right. So now I'm going to align up the middle of the 8th scallop with the middle of the 8th scallop at the bottom here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll just draw a very light line, and I let my pencil tip just go inside there, So I've got a bit of a line there. And now I know where to put my adhesive, okay? So we want the adhesive on this side only. And I think I'm going to use my seal, Stampin' seal for this. Just have to get it going here. And I can put it right along that line there. Okay. Now, when we open up this left side, we see that line. We can center it along the line so that we've got the same amount this way and that way. And then we have that on our card. Is everybody good with that? So you've drawn the line, you've put the adhesive on the, well, when you're on the back, when you have it on turned over on the back, it's on the right hand side of the line, and then you adhere it by bringing this left hand gate so that it is right up to the line, and then just make sure that it's centered, and then just adhere it, and then you've got it where you need it. Okay, all right, then we have one last step, and that is the little bow that I tied for you. Just be careful with this bow because this ribbon frays very easily. So it's the pale papaya and white woven ribbon, I think. And I need glue dots for that. So I'm just adding a glue dot to the back. You can add more than one if you want, but one does the job pretty nicely. And then just add that underneath the sentiment and beside the wildflower. And birthday card number 2 is completed. Yeah, it's that's why this scalloped panel is a good idea when you're doing something like a gatefold, because it can help you keep it straight and also help you to center it. Okay, so that is card number 2. I'm just going to tidy a bit, and we'll come back for card number 3 if you want to take a wee break. It won't be long, but we'll be back in a minute. I'm a little bit apprehensive because we're going to the island on Thursday, and we're staying with my daughter, and she doesn't have air conditioning, so I'm just a little bit worried about that. Hopefully it'll all work out. It's supposed to be getting a little bit cooler by then, so. They don't have a basement either, so that'll be tricky. Okay, so for this we're going to do some embossing. So I'm using the white embossing powder. If you don't have that, you can always stamp in black. That would work. The These are the tailor-made tag dies. That's the name of it. Not handmade, tailor-made. And I just thought I'd show you the what the dies look like. Very, very handy. And they make the cutest dies, cutest labels too, and tags. So these are great for like gifts or just added tags for your cards for embellishments, or sorry, sentiments. So all right, this one is more of a masculine. Here, let me get it out. This is more of a masculine card, birthday card, but it would be good for any gender, really. That's great. No, we can't take our, no, we're not taking our trailer, Eunice. We have to take 2 vehicles along because we're passing one on to Aaron and Johnny, so it's already going to cost a fortune on the ferry. A trailer would be a little more than we could handle at the moment, so. Okay, so this is cinnamon cider, actually, and we're going to fold that. Is everybody ready? Everybody back? Looks like we're missing someone. Okay, so fold that. And then this paper is from In Good Taste, the In Good Taste Designer Series paper, which is just so versatile. So many great patterns in that. I'm glad they carried it over. So we're going to use our adhesive and add that. Probably can't even see the adhesive on here as I add it, but it is there, trust me. And give it a moment to center this so we get 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I just like to open the card up and use my bone folder on the inside. Okay, now we have some stalks. Oh dear, I know what I didn't do. I didn't bring up my little pearls. That's something that you guys will have to work out on your own there. Okay, so we're going to make a little, what's the word? Sprig of wildflowers here. So we're going to need some glue dots. And basically I'm hoping to hold all 3 of these. So I've got the green ones behind. That's evergreen. What's the word? Evening evergreen, right. And soft suede for the middle one. So the 2 green ones are in the back and the soft suede one is in the front. And I'm hoping that 1 glue dot will be able to hold all 3, but I may be optimistic about that. Let's see how it works. And then we'll probably need to add, well actually I'll add those afterwards. So we're going to start way down here. Now we're just going to use, I'm going to use my scissors to pick up some glue dots and to add them behind the wildflowers in some of the thicker areas. let's see, I don't know, maybe that holds them. If I get it on the soft suede one where it has, you know, the larger flowers, that can anchor the evening evergreen ones in place. So. And I might want to get something up top here. There we go. Okay, so I think that kind of holds things where I want them. Okay, and now for our little tag. So the tag is going this way. So I said that I was using that same Happy Birthday from Artistic, what is it? Fine Art Gallery. That's the one. Okay. So I'm going to use Versamark and then white embossing powder for that. Okay. So if you have an embossing buddy, you might want to use that. I'm just doing sentiment, so I'm going to hope that I don't need it. Okay, and we'll add some white embossing powder, tap it off, and that worked pretty well. Looks like the Y could use a little bit more there. There we go. Okay. Everybody doing okay? Any questions? I'm going to bring out my tweezers again so I can keep my fingers from being burned. And I'm going to use the highest level on my heat tool to heat that up and heat set it. So we're just watching that turn from pale white to bright white. Okay. Now you've got a piece of linen thread in there. And what you're going to do is fold that in half. And you're going to pass the loop through the hole in the tag, and then pass the free tails of the linen thread through that, like so. Okay, can everybody see that? Maybe I should bring that a little closer in. Okay, so let me just do that again. So I folded my linen thread in half. I'm passing the loop through the hole of the tag. Then I'm passing the free legs there through that, and then tightening through the loop and then tightening. Okay, now I'm going to tie a single knot, and then I'm going to flip over here. Then I'm going to tie a bow. Okay, so just a bow, like tying your shoes. And then I'm just going to play around with that. until it is the way I want it. And then I can, if I want to adjust the loops, I hang on to the knot and pull. That way the knot doesn't loosen. And we'll just leave those loose until I get this on and see where it goes and see if I need to. So I'm going to use dimensionals again on the back here. And I think 3 should be enough, like that. And I'll remove them. And add this like this. Okay. Now you have all those little metallic pearls that I gave you. You should have 10, so 5 for each card. And this is where I located them. So one on the one on the tag, a couple down here, one each, one up there, one up there. So I'll let you locate them where you want. Basically what I do is I remove them with either a piercing tool like this or my scissors from the backing that they're on, and then I put them in the place where they're at, hold them down and remove the tools. So that's how you can place them where you want them. And then I think I am going to just trim these a little bit. They're a little bit unruly. And maybe make these loops a little bit smaller. That looks a little bit better. Okay, and that is the third card. Okay, so everyone, I'm just hang out here for a minute in case you have more questions. And if I don't see any more questions, then we'll call it a night. I'll be uploading this to YouTube and then shortening it a bit and then uploading it to YouTube, and then I'll send everybody the link, the YouTube link. And thanks for hanging out with me and crafting tonight. I don't think it'll be long before we can get together again, but if you're out of town or somebody who likes having online classes, I'll be looking into the possibility of doing more of those too, so we can have the best of both worlds. Okay, nice to talk to everybody. I'll hang around for questions. If you have questions to ask, please just leave comments with your questions and I'll answer those live. And good night to everyone else. Thanks. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Eunice. Thanks, Carol. Okay, I don't hear any more questions, so if something does come up, you can type a comment and I'll answer it with a comment. Okay, bye-bye.